Hi there, everyone. My name is Leela here, and I am so privileged to be your Minister of Culture, Multiculturalism, and Status of Women. I wanted to give you a little bit of background. He's a receiver and is with the Golden Bears, number 12, and an incredible athlete and so many things. But is also a student at University of Alberta and is helping us to kick off Black History Month for many, many reasons. But Chevi, you're 19. You are now working on mentorship to help mentor young people around gender-based violence. We've had some very intense discussions. I actually feel like you're part of my family. Your family must be incredibly proud of you for what you've accomplished at such a young age. But can you tell us a little bit, you've had quite an interesting journey getting here in your life. Can you tell us a little about your family, your background, your journey, and what led you to Alberta?
My family, we're originally from South Sudan. I have a pretty big family. We immigrated. I was really young when we left South Sudan, so I don't really remember anything of the place. But that's something I definitely want to go back to later on in my life. But so we moved here probably around 2002, and then my mom told me that we first landed in Winnipeg, and then we stayed there for a bit, and then we moved to Alberta, and then that's where I sort of have all my memory now. And so I grew up my 18 years until I moved away for university in Calgary. And so, yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Wow, that's beautiful. I actually didn't know that about your family. I'm sure that you have so much to add also to the discussion of anti-racism. I can't imagine what the Black Lives Matter movement must have meant to you and your family, and just to see the world unite around such a beautiful group of people, finally, in a way that was meaningful. You've also created a short film called Who Am I? And I saw the film. It's incredible. You're an artist outside of being an incredible athlete. That's obvious. And your heart is just on display to the world. Can you tell us about what inspired that, and what you think the impact is going to be of that films to other young Black men like yourself?
So actually, the video is titled the Who Am I piece is sort of part of a bigger project that I'm working on with it's like a bunch of short films asking who, what, when, where, and how, and why. And so each one will attack something different. The inspiration behind it really was back in May during the height of all the tensions that were going around the world. There was just a lot of questions I was asking, a lot of built up like stress, I guess. And I just needed a way to go and sort of take that out of me almost. And so not having to hold it, because it feels like, especially when things are going on, it feels like you're just carrying a big burden. And so being able to write it away was sort of like a relief of all that. And then I just sort of sat on it. So I wrote it in May, and then I sort of just sat on it throughout the summer during the quarantine and everything. Didn't really have any ideas or plans to do with it. And then come around school time, when The Voice initiated, that's when I realized that I had a platform that I can go and create something with it. So then I went ahead and made the video, and then and sort of just sparked that there.
Yeah, it's going to have a huge impact, Chevi. I think that probably more than you realize. Having somebody eloquent and young and motivated and in the world participating and engaging is worth its weight in gold. It is just such a pure show of your emotions and what you're feeling, and I'm so grateful for that. This is something that goes beyond that focus. It's without boundaries, right? It has the ability to expand and take off. And
it was sort of art. The arts was something I never really, I've always enjoyed the arts and music and everything like that, but I've never really thought of myself being a part of that. And so it was and that's why I don't really consider it a poem, because poems normally have like structure and rules that you have to follow and everything. So I was sort of just writing and just expressing my emotions, I guess. And then so it was really cool to see that that it had a pretty positive impact, that you guys enjoyed it and everything. And that I hope that it resonates with some people, and people that have similar experiences can go and be like, wow, we're not by ourselves in this.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really big part of it. We always tell people like this, these conversations are about being able to have uncomfortable conversations and being comfortable with that. I mean, we deal a lot with that with the voice. If you think about some of the concepts that we've dealt with and the situations that, you know, we've had to sort of discuss, it really, really makes you think about things from a different perspective and also being in a safe place. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you more than anything for your authenticity, but also for giving a lot of people really safe space to know that they are able to be able to express themselves in a way that will impact positively as well, that next generation or even the ones that are older than you, because mentors come in all ages. Chevi, you know, I'm 50 and I'm still learning. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from everybody. And I just admire your wisdom at this age so much. Just so unbelievably impressed. And what do you want your mark to be on the world? Like, where do you see yourself going? Obviously, football is part of your life and your career focus going forward. But, you know, obviously there's so much more to you than football. It's a good piece of who you are. It makes you the beautiful human that you are, but you have all these other pieces. So where do you see yourself going?
Definitely wanting to go and obviously graduate university. And then from there, just talking about football, just continue to carry it and ride it as long as possible. Because one quote that's always stuck in my head was when I'm a high school coach. He said, we're non-football players longer than we are football players. So just want to go and, you know, and just embrace it and enjoy it as long as it lasts until someone tells me I can't play anymore. And then from there, coming into university, I found a love for government, actually. So I want to go in, maybe I think there is a future in government where I can go and see for myself why, cause I've sort of been drawn into like American politics and a lot of Canadian politics. So then see for myself why we don't really sometimes see the change that we want to see, you know, because we always see that the people say they're fighting for us and whatnot, but then it never really seems like there's any tangible things that we can say, yes, this changed. So I want to go and see for that for myself and maybe go and actually start making some changes for some people.
Chevi, we would love to see you, and we need to see more young people engaged in politics. We definitely need people from ethnic minorities and different marginalized groups to be sitting in the legislature or working behind the scenes so that governments, oppositions, anybody who's involved, it's such a privilege to be elected. But the really large work comes from a whole group of people that aren't necessarily the elected people. It's the work that's being done by the grassroots. It's the work that's being done by like people like yourself that are going to demand and ask for change and for things to look differently. Like I know that I am constantly inspired by that and by people who are engaged to talk to me all the time. And, you know, we're just one small, you know, cog in the wheel. But I think that the fact that you're interested makes me feel very, very strong about our future. If young people like you are going to be running the province, we're going to be in very, very good hands, Chevi.